I'm Tiffany.
I'm Logan.
I'm Jordan.
Today we're going to be doing a dynamic warm-up for track athletes, specifically for the 100-meter sprint, following the ramp protocol.
So following the ramp protocol, the R stands for raise. So for raise, we want to raise the heart rate, raise the body temp, just get the blood flowing and get the joints ready to go to the next stage, which is?
Activate and mobilize, the A&M part of ramp. So as it stands for activate and mobilize, the goal is just to ever so slowly increase the intensity just to loosen up the joints and muscles.
And then potentiate, the goal of this phase is to kind of ramp up to your desired intensity through the sport-specific movements that you'll be performing in that particular session.
And then based on the movement or exercise that we will be performing, it'll either be for a given set of reps, so like a 10 rep range, or it'll be through a distance. Say if we're doing walking stretch, it'll be through a given distance to complete that activity. So for the R part of ramp, which is raise, for the 100-meter sprint, we're gonna conduct just one single lap at jogging pace around a 400-meter track. Just because for a 100-meter sprinter, they're not gonna be ever really running a 400, so just jogging at a light pace around the track for one lap will elevate their heart rate just enough to get them warmed up and moving on to the next part of ramp. So let's video. Go ahead. Just a quick little demonstration of the pace that you're running at.
So for the next portion, for activate and mobilize, I'm gonna have my client or my athlete do leg swings. Well, just like she set up, I'm gonna have her hands on the wall like so, feet on the ground, and one leg at a time, just swing it side to side, activate the hip joint, mobilize it. I'm gonna have her do that for roughly 5 to 10 reps. I'm gonna have her switch legs and do the other side, also side to side. Once she performs those reps, then I'm gonna have her face the side, with the wall facing this way, and have her do front and back with one leg. Once she's done with that, I'm gonna have her face the other way, perform with the other leg.
Continuing on activations and mobilizing, we're going to be performing the movement called Frankenstein, which focuses on hip and hamstring mobility and flexibility. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have our client bring his leg to the opposite arm, take a couple of steps forward, and same thing with the other side. It's important to you bring your leg to your arm, but not bring your torso to your leg. And he's going to be doing that for the entire distance of the 40-yard track, or for 10 reps, each leg.
All right, so following the Frankensteins that we just did, continuing on with some leg stuff, we're gonna do walking quad stretches, whatever you wanna call it. So I'm gonna have just start up at the starting line, and we're just gonna come here, grab the foot, pull the heel to your butt, and you can just lean forward a little bit. Make sure you kind of feel that stretch in there. Take a couple steps forward, again, other leg, and again, just emphasizing more on the leg part, activating all the leg muscles required for the sprint. We're gonna go ahead and do that for about 30 yards.
Okay, so also focusing on hip mobility, I'm going to have the athlete next do walking lunges with a twist. So walking lunges not only focuses on hip mobility, but the fact that we're implementing a twist engages your core and provides stability when you're sprinting in the future. So what I'm going to have the athlete do is do one leg with a twist, in between, alternate, and then do that, alternating for about 5 steps each leg.
So next we're going to be performing some arm swings. These are important because it mimics the arm motion of running, and also it gets your core ready for the rotational part of sprinting. So what I'm going to have my client do is I'm going to have you swing your arms up and down as fast as you can, mimicking the motion of running. And you're going to do that for 10 seconds.
right, so last thing we're gonna do here before we pick up the pace and move into more of the M and P sections of ramp, we're gonna do some calf raises and walking calf raises just because I wanna make sure the calves are activated because they're an essential part of running, especially sprinting. You're gonna want powerful, so you're not gonna wanna have cramp in your calf when you're running. So we're gonna start here with a couple 5 in place, making sure you're really pushing up on those toes and activating those calves. Then when you get 5, we're just gonna continue walking down in place here just till we get to the pillar. Again, making sure you're up on your toe and really engaging your calf to get activated for the sprint.
So next we're going to be performing some exaggerated walking lunges. So the goal of this is to mimic the running motion. So the knee and arm you're going to be moving up is going to be opposite. So you're going to want to be explosive with your arms, your arm drive and your knee drive to kind of mimic that running motion and kind of more prepare for just the 100-meter sprint. So what I'm going to have my client do is do it as such. So kind of just exaggerate the sprint to about 40 meters.
So ending off in the mobility section and nearing the potentiate section, we're going to be doing high knees, which slightly increases the intensity and it's getting near the sport specific part of this phase. So what I'm going to be doing is doing high knees forward, just driving the knee up as high as I can. Obviously alternating each time, and as this relates to sport specificity, this kind of acts like a track sprint, but you're just doing it with high knees. So I'm going to have the athlete do that now. So continuing on from high knees, we're going to be doing butt kicks now. It's basically the same thing, but this time instead of driving your knee forward, you're just going to drive your knee back. You're going to kick your butt with it. Focus more on quad tension. So you're going to go up and down alternating like this. So I'm going to have an athlete do that now. Good.
All right, so the last part of our mobilize phase before we get into potentiate is going to be a high knee skip. So this is really just going to look like this. Just really working on, again, driving the knee, getting the ankle dorsiflexion in there because of course ankle is a big part of running, and also just using your arms, again, splitting them, trying to get the powerful motion of the sprint we're going to be doing. So I'm going to have you start with that. You can take a few steps in between her. All right, so now I'm going to have the athlete go ahead and do the power skip.
Okay, so now onto the P portion of ramp, so potentiate. This is getting way more sport specific and way more intense now as we're going to be doing 50-70 sprints. So what I'm going to have the athlete do is start with the water bottle. It's going to be at 50% of her max sprint. Once she passes the water bottle, she's going to sprint at 70% power until the top. Continuing on with the portion of sprints and increasing the intensity for the potentiate portion of ramp, we're going to be doing sprints again, but this time we're going to be starting fully down, face down on the ground, hands all the way out, because the focus here, besides the sprints, is to get up, use upper body, focus on like the explosive movement of the starting position for the sprint. So I'm going to have the athlete perform that now. Good. Alright, so for the last portion of the dynamic warm-up, we're going to be doing a full sprint, but we're also going to be doing it through the starting position for track athletes. So as a starting position for the track athletes, you're going to get down on one knee like you're going into a lunge, but your knee actually on the ground. You're going to have your hands cupped like this, L shapes, on the ground. And this is the first position you're going to be in. You can use whatever leg you prefer. For me, it's left. So when you get down as so, I'm going to give cueing. And during the cue, I'm going to say set. When you get to set, this is the set mode, you're going to play forward. And when I clap, it's going to mimic the sound of a gunshot. That's when you drive forward and you sprint. So this is the most sport-specific dynamic warm-up exercise. exercise that we have. This is my exercise, it's the last one. Set. Alright, so this concludes our dynamic warm-up for the 100-meter sprint track athletes following RAMP protocol, which stands for
Raise, activate, mobilize, and potentiate.
And now our athletes are going to go win their race.